The shotgun blast echoed through the cornfields like God's own thunder, shattering the summer silence of Willow Creek, Iowa, where secrets fermented slower than moonshine but hit harder than a freight train. Elena Harper, her hands trembling around the barrel of her late husband's Remington, stared at the mangled jackrabbit at her feet, not because she'd missed the shot, but because the boy's scream from the porch behind her had ripped something vital from her chest. "Mom? What the hell?" Christian's voice cracked like the dry earth under drought, his silhouette framed in the screen door, eyes wide with the kind of fear that comes from loving someone too much to see them break. Elena dropped the gun into the dust, the metal clanging like a dropped confession, and turned slowly, her flannel shirt smeared with the rabbit's blood that now looked like war paint on her knuckles. Christian stood there, 19 and all gangly limbs and unspoken fire, his faded Metallica tee clinging to his sweat-damp skin after a day baling hay on the neighbor's farm. Behind him, the old Victorian house loomed like a weary sentinel, its wraparound porch sagging under the weight of too many summers and not enough repairs. The other boys, her boys, were scattered inside, ghosts in the kitchen radio's murmur of baseball scores and the sizzle of ground beef for tacos. But Christian had always been the one who saw through her, the one whose gaze peeled back the layers like onion skin until she bled raw. "It's nothing, kiddo," Elena lied, wiping her hands on her jeans, the lie tasting like ash on her tongue. She was 48, with laugh lines carved deep from forcing joy into a life that had never quite fit, and hair she'd let go silver because dyeing it felt like another mask. 12 years ago, she'd started adopting first Tommy, the scrawny 8-year-old with a stutter and bruises from a foster home that smelled like stale cigarettes. Then Javier, 10 and defiant, shipped from LA after his abuela passed. Then the twins, Micah and Levi, 11-year-old hellions from Chicago's South Side who thought stealing hubcaps was a personality trait. And finally, Christian, the last one, plucked from a Des Moines group home at 7, with eyes like storm clouds and a habit of hugging her knees when nightmares clawed him awake. They were her miracles, these 5 strays she'd gathered like wildflowers in a mason jar, each one blooming fierce and unapologetic in the flatlands of Iowa. Tommy had come out first, 15, during a family bonfire, his voice steady as he said, "I'm gay, Mom. And I'm not sorry." Javier followed a year later, painting rainbows on the barn wall with stolen spray cans, declaring it his "fuck you" to the Bible thumpers at school. The twins? They dropped it casual over Thanksgiving turkey, high-fiving like it had been a bet they'd both won. Brave boys, her boys, out and proud in a town where "faggot" was still graffiti on the water tower, where the local diner served pie with side eyes for anyone who held hands too long. But Christian had waited, held it in like a grenade pin, his crushes on the quarterback and the art teacher flickering in his journals that Elena pretended not to read. Until tonight, when he'd burst out the back door, cheeks flushed, shouting, "I kissed him. Mom, Adam, God." It was like fireworks. But what if? And she'd panicked, the gun already in her hand from varmint patrol, the rabbit just an excuse to drown out the roar in her ears. Not fear for him, no. Terror for herself, for the secret she'd buried deeper than her husband's grave, the one that whispered in the dark, "What if they knew? What if I couldn't protect them from me?" She stepped forward, gravel crunching under her boots, and pulled him into a hug that smelled of gunpowder and lavender soap. "Fireworks are good, Chris. Means it's real." Her voice was gravel rough, honed from years of yelling over tractor engines and church choirs, but it cracked on the last word. He clung to her, taller now than she'd ever be, his heartbeat syncing with hers like it had when he was small and scared. Inside, the house thrummed with life. Tommy, 21 and home from community college, was flipping burgers with one hand while sketching tattoo designs on a napkin with the other. His latest crush, a barista named Riley with sleeve tats and a motorcycle. Javier, 20, lounged on the couch in his paramedic-in-training polo, scrolling Grindr on the sly, his dark curls falling over eyes that still sparked with that LA mischief. The twins, 19 and inseparable, wrestled over the remote in the living room, Micah's buzzcut fresh from basic training leave, Levi's locks tied back as he trash-talked his brother's aim in Call of Duty. They were loud, messy, unfiltered, a queer chorus in a straight-laced symphony, and Elena loved them with a ferocity that scared her some nights. Dinner was chaos. As always, plates clattering, Javier stealing Levi's fries, Tommy recounting a disastrous blind date where the guy showed up with his mom, red flag or genius. Christian sat quiet at first, poking his taco, until Adam's name slipped out again. He's different, you know, not like the others. He gets the music, the way it hits you here. He thumped his chest, and the twins hooped, Micah slinging an arm around him. Bring him over. Dumbass. We'll vet him proper. Levi's got that gaydar like a bloodhound. Elena watched from the head of the table, her smile a practiced curve. But inside, the old ache twisted. Adam Whitaker, 20, farm boy handsome with sun-bleached hair and a pickup that roared like a challenge. She'd met him once, at the county fair, when Christian dragged him to the Ferris wheel. The boy had polite eyes, calloused hands from his daddy's dairy operation. But Elena had seen the flicker, the way he leaned into Christian's space, the brush of knuckles that lingered. It was beautiful, and it terrified her. Because love like that, it burned bright, but it left scars. After dishes, the boys scattered, Tommy to his room for late-night calls, Javier to the porch swing with a joint he thought she didn't smell, the twins to the barn for stargazing and secrets. Christian lingered in the kitchen, drying plates with deliberate slowness. Mom. About earlier. The gun. You okay? She leaned against the sink, suds dripping from her elbows, and met his gaze, those gray eyes that mirrored her own storms. Just ghosts, kid. Old ones. She ruffled his hair, the gesture a lifeline, and he laughed, soft and real, before heading upstairs. Alone, Elena poured a finger of bourbon, Huber's, the cheap stuff from the co-op, and sank into the rocker by the window. The moon hung low over the fields, silvering the silos like forgotten promises. She'd come to Willow Creek 20 years ago, fleeing Chicago's concrete canyons and a marriage her parents had arranged like a business merger. Richard Harper, steady as cornstalks, had given her the house, the land, the cover. But he'd never touched her soul, never sparked that fire she read about in dog-eared romance novels hidden under the mattress. When he died in a silo collapse, crushed under silage like a bad metaphor, she'd vowed to build something real. The adoptions were her redemption, giving these boys the family she'd craved, the acceptance she'd faked. But the secret festered. Back in the city, before Richard, there'd been Sarah, soft curves and shared cigarettes in Greenwich Village alleys, whispers of forever cut short by Elena's fear. It's a phase, her mother had said, and Elena had believed it, burying Sarah's letters in a shoebox with her dreams. Now, 48, with her boys out and blazing trails, the lie choked her. What kind of mother was she, preaching authenticity while chained to her closet? Upstairs, Christian texted Adam under the covers. Mom freaked, but it's cool. Come over tomorrow? The reply buzzed back. Hell yes. Can't stop thinking about that kiss. You? Christian's grin split the dark. His fingers flying ditto. Night, cowboy. He didn't see the shadow in the hall. Elena pausing at his door, her hand hovering like a prayer. The next morning dawned sticky hot, humidity thick as regret. Elena was in the garden, yanking weeds with vicious tugs. When the pickup rumbled up the drive, Adams, all chrome and mud flaps, with a rebel flag sticker peeling at the edges that made her stomach knot. Christian bolted out the screen door, all legs and eagerness, and Adam unfolded from the cab like a promise. 6'2", broad shoulders under a plaid button-down, jeans faded to the bone. He carried a six-pack of root beer, polite touch, and a shy smile that lit Christian's face like dawn. Hey, Mrs. Harper, Adam drawled, Iowa vowels rolling soft, extending a hand that engulfed hers in warmth. Close, he smelled like hay and aftershave, with freckles dusting his nose like stars. Thanks for having me. Chris talks about you nonstop. Call me Elena, she said, forcing ease, though her pulse thrummed with warning bells. And it's no trouble. Boys need their space. She nodded toward the barn, where the twins were already hollering over a half-built treehouse addition. They wandered off, shoulders brushing, laughter trailing like smoke. Elena watched from the kitchen window, coffee cooling in her mug, pang sharp as barbed wire. It was pure them against the world, two kids stealing moments in a town that had crucified them for it. But purity was fragile, and Willow Creek had claws. Lunch was burgers on the grill, Javier manning the tongs like a pro, Tommy grilling Adam on everything from favorite bands, Nirvana, to coming out stories. Dad threw a chair, Adam admitted, voice low over the sizzle. Called me an abomination. Haven't spoken since. The table fell quiet, forks pausing, until Levi punched his arm lightly. Well, you're our abomination now, Whitaker. Pass the ketchup. Elena smiled through it, but her eyes caught the way Adam's hand found Christian's under the picnic table. Tentative, then sure. Love, raw and reckless. It made her ache for Sarah, for what-ifs turned ghosts. Afternoon blurred into pickup softball at the town diamond, the boys dragging Adam along, Elena umping from the bleachers with a thermos of lemonade. Christian pitched wild but fierce, Adam catching with grins that promised more than outs. When Christian struck out Javier, deliberate, playful, the whoops echoed across the outfield, a bubble of joy in the oppressive heat. But as the sun dipped, shadows lengthened. Tommy pulled Elena aside by the concession stand, his sketchpad tucked under arm. You good, Mom? Look like you saw a ghost. She waved it off, but his eyes sharp, artist's eyes lingered. Just the heat, Tommy boy. Night fell soft, fireflies winking like conspirators. The boys built a bonfire in the pit, Adam staying late, his truck idling reluctant. Christian and he slipped away to the old swing by the creek, the one Elena had hung for Tommy's 8th birthday. She found them there later, heads together, Adam's fingers tracing Christian's palm like a map to treasure. Go easy. You too, she called softly, not wanting to startle. They jumped, then laughed, Adam's arm slinging casual around Christian's waist. We are Mrs. Elena. Scout's honor. She nodded, throat tight, and left them to the crickets. Back in the house, she pulled the shoebox from the attic. Dusty, forbidden. Sarah's photo stared up, 22, laughing in a sundress, arm linked with Elena's younger self. Miss you, E. Come back to the city. We can be us. The letter crumpled in her fist. Downstairs, Christian dreamed of Adam's lips, of a future beyond cornfields. But dreams have edges, and Willow Creeks were razor-sharp. Weeks melted into a humid haze, summer's grip loosening only to tighten again, like a lover who couldn't let go. Christian and Adam became inseparable, stolen afternoons in the hayloft, where dust motes danced in sunbeams like fireflies at noon, and evenings driving Adam's truck down backroads, radio blasting Springsteen with windows down and hands intertwined over the stick shift. Born to Run felt like prophecy, the lyrics a roadmap out of Willow Creek's chokehold. Christian would lean his head on Adam's shoulder at stop signs, breathing in that mix of leather and earth, whispering, "This is it, man. You and me against the assholes." Adam would grin, that crooked cowboy smile that hid the bruises, literal and not, from home. His father, Harlan Whitaker, was a bull of a man, veins like rivers on his forearms from decades milking cows and nursing grudges. The dairy farm sprawled over 200 acres, a kingdom of Holsteins and rusted silos, but Harlan ruled it with iron and scripture, quoting Leviticus like it was law. When Adam came out 6 months back, the chair hadn't been the end. The disownment was. "You're no son of mine," Harlan had growled, fists splintering the kitchen table. Adam crashed with a cousin in Ames until Elena, through Christian's tearful pleas, offered the carriage house out back, rent-free, with one condition: help with the chores, and keep my boy safe. He did, first. Chores meant early mornings mucking stalls, Christian joining him with coffee thermos in hand, their laughter echoing as they raced wheelbarrows like kids. Safety meant defusing the taunts at the diner, where old-timers like Buck Reynolds spat tobacco and slurs in equal measure. "Ferry boys," Buck would mutter, but Adam's glare, steady, unblinking, shut him down faster than a slammed barn door. Elena watched it unfold from the farmhouse windows, a quiet voyeur to their bloom. The other boys ribbed Christian mercilessly, Javier dubbing Adam Cowboy Ken, the twins staging mock weddings with wildflowers and beer cans. Tommy, ever the romantic, sketched them in charcoal, Adam's profile noble against a sunset, Christian's hand on his knee like an anchor. "It's epic, bro," he'd say, slapping Christian's back. "Don't fuck it up." But love, Elena knew, was a jealous god. It demanded everything, and Willow Creek exacted tribute. The first crack came Labor Day weekend, the town fair in full swing, carnies hawking cotton candy, the midway alive with blinking lights and the tinny wail of calliope music. Elena had entered her rhubarb pie in the baking contest, a tradition since Richard's death, and the boys piled into the old Ford for the haul. Christian and Adam arrived late, flushed from a detour in the cab of the truck, shirts untucked and grins sheepish. "Want a stuffed bear?" Adam announced, tossing it to Levi, who caught it midair and promptly named it Harlan the Asshole. The air buzzed with fried dough and possibility until dusk. When the demolition derby cranked up, cars smashing like thunder in the arena, crowds roaring from the bleachers. Christian and Adam claimed a spot high up, knees touching, sharing a funnel cake dusted with powdered sugar that clung to their lips like sweet evidence. Below, Javier flirted shameless with a rodeo clown, tall, tattooed, from Tulsa, and the twins bet 20s on which rust bucket would crumple first. Elena sat a row down with Tommy, her pie taking blue ribbon small victories. But her eyes strayed to the boys, to the way Adam's arm draped possessive over Christian's seatback. It stirred something maternal, protective, and envious. They have this, she thought, unafraid. When do I get mine? Then, the fight started small. Adam's cousin, Derek, a burly mechanic with a buzzcut and a mean streak, sidling up during intermission, beer in hand. Heard you're shacked up with the Harper faggot. 'Cause, Daddy, no. Derek's laugh was a bark, drawing stares. Adam stiffened, but Christian, firecracker Christian, leaned forward, eyes blazing. Yeah, he knows. And he's cooler than your limp-dick ass, Derek. Back off. The punch landed before words could warn it. Derek's fist cracking against Christian's jaw, a meaty thud that silenced the bleachers around them. Adam surged up, tackling his cousin into the metal rails, fists flying in a blur of plaid and fury. You touch him again, you're dead. The crowd surged, half cheering the brawl, half hollering for security, until Micah and Levi waded in, hauling Adam back while Javier kneed Derek in the gut. Elena was there in seconds, pushing through the chaos, her hands on Christian's face, tilting his chin to assess the swelling bloom under his skin. Jesus, kid. You okay? Blood trickled from his lip, mixing with the sugar remnants. Christian spat red onto the dirt, wincing but defiant. Fine, Mom. Worth it. Adam hovered, knuckles split and eyes wild, Derek slinking off with a limp and a curse. Security, 2 board deputies, broke it up with warnings, but the damage lingered like exhaust fumes. In the parking lot, under sodium lamps buzzing like angry wasps, Adam pulled Christian aside by the tailgate. I'm sorry. God, I'm so sorry. That asshole, he's family. But, Christian cupped his face, thumb tracing the cut. Hey. We're good. Better than good. They kissed then, fierce and claiming, oblivious to the gawkers or Elena's averted gaze. It was a vow, sealed in the fairground dust. Back home, the house pulsed with adrenaline. Ice packs circulated. Javier brewing victory tea, code for whiskey sours. Tommy retelling the punch with dramatic flair. Elena stitched Adam's knuckles by lamplight in the kitchen, her needle steady from years of mending jeans and hearts. Family's a bitch, she murmured, tying off the thread. But you chose yours tonight. Adam nodded, gaze flicking to Christian across the room, laughing with the twins. Yeah. Wouldn't trade him. That night, as the house settled, Elena found Christian on the porch steps, staring at the stars. She sat beside him, shoulders touching, and handed him a beer, contraband, just this once. You scared me today. He took a swig, the bottle sweating in the heat. Scared myself. But Adam, he's worth the bruises. A pause, heavy as harvest moon. You ever love like that, Mom? The kind that hurts. Her breath caught, Sarah's ghost rising unbidden. Once. Long time ago. Didn't have the guts to hold on. She bumped his shoulder. Don't make my mistakes, Chris. He leaned into her, head on her shoulder like when he was 7. I won't. September brought cooler winds, leaves turning gold like alchemical promises. School started, community college for Christian and Adam, both majoring in agribusiness, dreaming of a co-op farm that'd thumb its nose at Harlan's empire. Mornings were ritual, coffee on the stove, Elena frying eggs while the boys tumbled in, sleepy-kissed and tangled. Afternoons, They'd study in the living room, feet entwined under the coffee table, notes forgotten for necking that had Javier wolf whistling from the stairs. Elena threw herself into harvest, the combines rumbling like distant thunder, her hands blistered on the wheel. But the boys anchored her. Tommy's weekend visits from Iowa City, Javier's ambulance shifts ending with takeout pizza, the twins' letters from Fort Benning, full of drill sergeant rants and miss you, mom PSs. It was family, patchwork and perfect, yet cracks spiderwebbed. Adam's phone buzzed more at night, Derek's texts, Harlan's silences manifesting as passive-aggressive voicemails, farms falling apart without a real man. Adam deleted them, but Elena saw the toll in his slumped shoulders, the way he'd snap at Christian over nothing, like forgetting to gas up the truck. One crisp October evening, after a football game where the Willow Creek Hawks crushed rivals and slurs rained from the stands, it boiled over. They were in the truck, heading home, high on victory, Adam's cousin on the team, a forced truce. Christian teased about a fumbled play, light-hearted, but Adam's jaw clenched. Easy for you, city boy. You don't know what it's like carrying this shit. Christian recoiled, the cab shrinking. What the hell? Adam? I'm right here with you. Yeah? Then why's your mom always watching like I'm gonna bolt? Like I'm the bad guy? Adam's voice rose, tires eating gravel too fast. Because she cares, idiot, about us, Christian yelled back, but the words hung wrong, laced with hurt. Adam swerved into the Harper's drive, killing the engine with a jerk. Maybe I need space, Chris. From the perfect family, the eyes everywhere, he stormed out, slamming the door, leaving Christian in the dark cab, chest heaving. Elena heard the tires spin out from the kitchen sink, suds forgotten. She found Christian on the porch again, knees to chest, silent tears carving tracks. He didn't mean it, she started, but he shook his head. Maybe he did. Maybe I'm too much. She pulled him up, fierce. You're everything, kid. And if he can't see that, he's the fool. But inside, dread coiled, betrayal's first whisper, not from Adam, but from the secrets she'd sown. The next days were radio silence, Adam ghosting texts, Christian hollow-eyed over cereal. Elena drove to the Whitaker farm unannounced, Harlan's truck absent, the barn door ajar. Adam was forking hay, sweat-soaked, avoiding her eyes. Heard about the fight, she said, leaning on the rail. Sounds like love to me. Adam paused, pitchfork trembling. I panicked. Elena. Dad's selling off acres. Says it's my fault. The distraction. I took it out on Chris. Stupid. Love's stupid, she agreed, voice soft. But it's the best kind. Fix it. He nodded, resolve flickering. That night, he showed at the door with wildflowers and an apology handwritten on lined paper. I was scared. You're my home. Forgive me? Christian did, with a kiss that bruised lips and mended fences. Winter crept in, snow blanketing the fields like forgiveness. Christmas was epic. Javier's tamales, Tommy's gingerbread queer pride flag, the twins' home with duffels and stories. Adam carved a spot at the table, Harlan's absence a ghost they toasted away with eggnog. Under the tree, Christian unwrapped a leather-bound journal from Adam, inscribed, For the songs in your head. And the one in my heart. Elena watched them slow dance in the living room to Bing Crosby, off-key and perfect, her own heart a drumbeat of longing. Sarah's shoebox stayed buried, but the lid creaked. Spring thaw brought renewal and rupture. Prom season hit, the boys dragging Adam to the community dance. Elena chaperoning with a flask of chaperone courage. The gym glittered with streamers and awkward teens. But for Christian and Adam, suits tailored thrift store sharp, it was magic. They danced close, defying the whispers, until Derek crashed the punch bowl, drunk and venomous. Faggots ruining everything. Adam's fist rose, but Christian blocked it, eyes pleading. Not here. Not like this. They left early, steaming into the night, passion turning the truck cab into a sanctuary of gasps and grips. But betrayal brewed darker. One April afternoon, Elena answered a call from Ames PD Tommy, arrested at a protest, rainbow flag in hand against some anti-gay bill snaking through Des Moines. Bail me out, Mom. His voice was steady, but the fear underneath sliced her. She drove through pouring rain, posting bond in a courthouse that reeked of linoleum and judgment. Tommy hugged her tight in the lobby, whispering, "Proud of you for coming. For everything." On the way home, thunder rumbling, he asked, "What's your story, Mom? The real one. You've given us all this freedom. Where's yours?" The wipers slashed like accusations. Elena gripped the wheel, miles blurring. Someday, Tommy. Someday. Back home. The house was empty, boys at a bonfire with friends. She sat in the rocker, rain lashing windows, and finally opened the box. Sarah's letters spilled like confessions. I waited. Still do. Tears came, hot and overdue. Upstairs, Christian and Adam tangled in sheets, bodies a language of need. Forever, Adam murmured against skin. Christian believed him until the lie that would shatter it all. May bloomed riotous, dogwoods and lilacs perfuming the air like cheap perfume, masking the rot beneath. Christian's 20th birthday fell on a Saturday. The farmhouse transformed into a queer wonderland. Rainbow streamers from the co-op, a cake Tommy baked with out and proud in icing that bled pink, and a playlist Javier curated, heavy on George Michael and half on Banda for irony. The twins, on leave, arrived with a keg and a strippergram, a bewildered college kid in chaps who bailed after Levi's wolf whistle, turning the backyard into a mosh pit of laughter and lime jello shots. Adam outdid himself. A custom guitar, Fender Strat in cherry red, strung with pics engraved CNA forever. Christian's eyes welled as he strummed the first chords, a raw rendition of Wonderwall that had everyone hollering. Later, under the stars, Adam pulled him to the creek swing, a blanket spread with candles flickering like fireflies on steroids. "Wanna make this official?" he asked, voice husky, pulling a silver ring from his pocket, simple band, etched with coordinates of their first kiss spot. Christian's breath hitched. Hell yes, they slid it on, fingers trembling, sealing it with a kiss that tasted of cake and commitment. Elena watched from the porch, wineglass in hand, a smile masking the envy gnawing her ribs. They build empires from whispers, she thought. I built walls. The idol held through June, but July's heat wave cracked it open. Harlan Whitaker dropped dead in the milking parlor, heart attack, the doc said, felled mid-curse at a bulky machine. The obituary in the Willow Creek Gazette read like a eulogy for the old ways. Devoted farmer, father, veteran. No mention of the son he'd cast out. Adam got the call at dawn, Elena finding him in the kitchen, staring at the rotary phone like it had bitten him. Funeral's Tuesday, he said, voice flat. Gotta go. Christian woke to the tension, wrapping arms around him from behind. We'll go together. Face it as us. But Adam pulled away, subtle but sharp. Nah. Family thing. I'll handle it. The funeral was a circus of hypocrisy. Aunts in floral dresses dabbing crocodile tears, cousins like Derek murmuring condolences while shooting Adam side-eyes. The church pews creaked under the weight of unspoken judgments, the pastor's sermon on God's plan landing like punches. Adam sat rigid in the back. Alone, Christian respecting the space. Elena sending care packages of pie and prayers. After, at the graveside, Harlan's will was read under a tent whipping in prairie wind. The farm to Derek. Adam cut out like a tumor. With a codicil, my boy made choices. Choices have consequences. Derek smirked, clapping Adam's shoulder too hard. Tough break. 'Cause maybe now you'll man up. Adam drove home in a daze, knuckles white on the wheel, pulling into the Harpers at midnight. Christian waited on the porch, blanket around shoulders, eyes searching. How bad? Bad. Adam sank beside him, head in hands. Lost it all. Dad's ghost wins. Christian pulled him close. You got us. That's the real inheritance. They made love that night, fierce, reclaiming, bodies slick with sweat and sorrow. But in the afterglow, Adam's phone lit up, a text from an unknown number. Saw you at the funeral. Need to talk. R. Elena, insomnia her old friend, glimpsed it through the cracked door. She didn't pry yet. August scorched the earth, crops wilting like dreams deferred. Adam threw himself into job hunting, milking gigs at neighboring farms, mechanic work at the co-op, his ring glinting like accusation under fluorescent lights. Christian balance classes and shifts at the feed store, their dates reduced to porch swings and microwave dinners. Temporary, Adam promised, kissing Christian's temple. We'll get that co-op. You, me, some goats named after Springsteen songs. But the text lingered, a splinter. Elena noticed Adam's late nights, claiming overtime, the truck's engine cooling in the drive at odd hours. She bit her tongue. Trust was the mother's creed, but worry fermented. The betrayal hit like a combine blade. Labor Day encore. The fair again, this time with Tommy home, fresh from a pride march in Des Moines. The midway hummed, lights strung like veins pulsing. Christian and Adam wandered arm in arm, defiant in the crowd, winning a goldfish Adam named Harlan before it flopped belly up in the heat. They split for the bathroom line, Adam kissing Christian quick. Meet at the zipper in 10. Christian nodded, detouring for lemon ices. But 10 became 20, worry itching. He found Adam by the Ferris wheel, not alone. Ryan Caldwell, Derek's best friend, ex-linebacker turned feed salesman, all buzzcut and bravado, had him pinned against the chain link, voices low but heated. Can't keep pretending. Wit. I saw you with him. But us? That night after the funeral? That was real. Christian froze, ice dripping forgotten onto his boot. Adam's face, pale, cornered, twisted. It was a mistake. Bourbon and grief. Doesn't change shit. Ryan laughed, bitter. Does for me. You're playing house with the freak show. Come back to real life. Adam shoved him off, but the damage bloomed. Christian stepped forward, voice steel. Real life's me, asshole. And whatever this is, it's over. He turned, striding away. Adam's Chris. Wait! Swallowed by the carousel's grind. Elena, buying raffle tickets nearby. Saw it unfold, Christian's shoulders rigid, Adam's pursuit faltering. She intercepted her boy by the livestock barns, where Holsteins lowed indifferent. "Mom!" His voice broke, the ring yanked off and hurled into the dirt. "Talk to me," she urged, but he shook his head, tears carving clean lines through fair dust. "Home. Now." The drive was silent fury, Christian's fists clenched on thighs, Elena's hands steady on the wheel. At the house, he bolted to his room, door slamming like judgment. She knocked once. "Love you, kid," then left him to the storm. Adam arrived an hour later, rain starting to spit, face ashen. "Elena, please." "It wasn't. Save it for him," she cut in, voice low thunder. "You break his heart. You break mine." He nodded, defeated, climbing the stairs. The argument leaked through walls. Accusations. One night? Bullshit. Denials, grief. "Chris, I was lost." Sobs that twisted knives. By dawn, Adam's truck was gone. A note on the kitchen table. "Need time. Don't hate me. Eh." The house hollowed. Christian moved like a ghost. Meals skipped, guitar silent, eyes ringed purple. The other boys rallied. Javier dragging him to Ames bars for revenge shots. Tommy's sketches of superheroes with broken hearts. The twins' care packages from base. Beef jerky labeled, "Tough Love." Elena cooked comfort food, meatloaf. Her specialty. But ate alone. The ring retrieved from the fairground dirt burning in her pocket like contraband. Weeks blurred. September's chill settling bones deep. Adam's texts trickled. "Miss you. Working in Cedar Rapids." "Forgive?" Christian deleted them unread. But Elena saw the fracture lines in his forced smiles. Then, the call from Adam's cousin. Not Derek, but sweet-natured Lila, Harlan's sister. "He's bad. Elena. Car wreck on 30. ICU in Iowa City." Christian insisted on going. Elena driving through sleet-slick roads. The Ford's wipers a metronome of dread. The hospital smelled of bleach and despair. Beeps a mechanical dirge. Adam lay bandaged, tubes snaking, face swollen but alive. Concussion, broken ribs, a femur pinned like a butterfly wing. Christian hovered by the bed, hand hovering over Adam's slack fingers. "Idiot," he whispered, voice cracking. "Racing to prove what? That you're unbreakable." Adam stirred days later, ice finding Christians first. "You came. Family does that. No warmth, but no ice, neutral ground." Elena waited outside, Lila patting her arm. "Boy's tough. Like his uncle, in ways. Rehab was hell." Adam on crutches, Christian ferrying him to PT. Elena stocking the carriage house with soups and silence. Forgiveness simmered slow, nights of stilted talks by the fire. Adam owning the betrayal, weak. Chris, panicked, ran to what was easy. Ryan was nothing, regret everything. Christian peeling back layers of hurt, felt like dad all over again. Unlovable. By Halloween, thaw. Pumpkins carved on the porch. Adam hobbling but present. Christian's laugh tentative but real. The ring stayed boxed, but hands brushed, sparks reigniting. Elena, meanwhile, unraveled. Tommy's question echoed, Sarah's letters a siren call. One crisp November eve, boys out trick-or-treating. She drove to the old cemetery, Harlan's plot fresh, but she veered to Richard's, the stone mossy and mute. Forgive me, she whispered to the wind, for not being enough. Back home, the shoebox waited. She burned it in the fire pit, letters curling to ash, photo singed to silhouette. Catharsis, or pyre. Winter deepened, snowdrifts burying sins. Christmas loomed, the boys planning big, Javier's flight from paramedic training in Chicago. Twins' discharge papers signed. Adam moved back, tentative, earning trust with chores and honesty. No more secrets, he vowed to Christian over mulled cider. And this time, the kiss held. But Elena's secret swelled, a storm on horizon. New Year's, fireworks popping over fields, the family toasting in the living room, hugs, hoots, hope. Christian pulled her aside. I soft. You're my hero, Mom. Always. She hugged him fierce, tears pricking. Love you, kid. More than words. As the clock struck, she slipped out to the porch, phone in hand. A number, decades cold, dialed from memory. Sarah? It's Elena. God, it's been. The voice on the line, warm as remembered. Holy shit. Where are you? Iowa. But I'm coming home. The line crackled, promise in static. Inside, laughter swelled. Outside, Elena breathed free, first crack in her armor. Spring equinox brought green shoots, metaphors Elena couldn't ignore. Adam proposed properly, on one knee in the hayloft. Ring reclaimed, build that life with me? Christian said yes, tears and all. The wedding planning frenzy hit. Tommy on invites, watercolor rainbows. Javier on playlist, half disco, half mariachi. Twins on bachelor bash, strip club or escape room. Both. Elena, matriarch, handled the venue, the old barn, strung with lights, queer haven. But conflict crested Memorial Day. Ryan resurfaced, drunk dialing Adam at 2 a.m. Missed my chance. Huh? Knew you'd crawl back to the farm boy fantasy. Adam hung up, but Christian overheard, old wounds ripping. You blocked him, right? Christian demanded, voice small in the kitchen dawn. Yeah. Done. But doubt lingered, a shadow. Elena mediated, pulling Adam for a drive. Love's not perfect, son. But lies kill it. Be the man he needs. He nodded, resolve hardening. That night, full disclosure, screenshots deleted, number changed, Ryan exiled. Christian forgave, deeper now, scars like tattoos. June wedding day dawned perfect, blue skies, breeze gentle. The barn gleamed, guests a mix, Tommy's activist crew, Javier's EMT buddies, locals who'd softened, Buck even brought pie. Elena walked Christian down the aisle, arm in arm, his tux sharp, eyes shining. Adam waited, suit rumpled charming, vows handwritten. You saw me when I was invisible. I choose you, every bruised, beautiful day. Rings exchanged, kiss ceiling, cheers erupted, confetti raining like blessings. Reception thrummed, dances wild, cake smashed, toasts teary. Elena watched from the hay bales, heart full, until Tommy sidled up. Your turn, Mom. Spill, she sighed, Sarah's voice from weeks back echoing. Come to Chicago. We'll start slow. Or fast. Your call. Maybe, Tommy. Maybe it's time. He hugged her. Brave like us, as stars wheeled, couples swayed, Christian and Adam lost in each other, Javier twirling a cute groomsman. Twins cutting rugs with abandon. Elena slipped away. Phone buzzing, flight booked. See you soon. Love. The secret. Buried no more. Bloomed. Summer waned lazy. The wedding's afterglow lingering like firefly trails. Photo albums on the coffee table. Rice still crunching underfoot. The barn's fairy lights dismantled but etched in memory. Christian and Adam honeymooned cheap. A tent in the Badlands, South Dakota, chasing bison and sunsets, returning tanned and tangled, with rock souvenirs and a pack to scout co-op land come fall. Ours, Adam said, tracing Christian's ring finger in the truck cab. All ours. Elena waved them off with a cooler of sandwiches, her own escape ticking like a bomb. Chicago loomed, 3 hours east on I-80, but worlds away in Seoul. Sarah's emails piled. Apartment's got a spare room. Or bed. No pressure. Elena printed them, folded into her purse like talismans, rereading on drives to the co-op. The boys sensed the shift. Javier cornered her in the kitchen one muggy evening, chopping onions for enchiladas. Spill, Mama Harper. You've got that glow? Or is it terror? She laughed, wiping her hands. Bit of both. Mijo. Old friend. Might visit. His eyes lit, knowing. Gentle. Go. We got the fort. He hugged her quick, smelling of cumin and cologne. Tommy was blunter, FaceTiming from his Des Moines loft, paint-splattered smock on. Lesbian vibes. Mom? 'Cause if so, pride flags in the mail. She choked on tea. How? Artist's intuition. And you blush like Christian pre-Adam. He grinned. Own it. We love you louder. The twins. Home for R&R. Staged an intervention. Pizza and bad rom-coms. Levi pausing the object of my affection to quip. See? Hot older ladies get the girl. Micah nodded. Serious. Whatever it is. Mom, you're our rock. Don't crumble on us. Christian, ever the empath, waited till a quiet dusk. The two of them on the porch swing. You're leaving, not accusation, fear. Soft. Visiting, she corrected, squeezing his hand. Sarah. From before. Everything. The boys. You. She was my first. He stilled, processing. Gay? You. Bye. Maybe. Hit it deep. Tears pricked. Thought I was protecting you all. Turns out, I was suffocating me. Christian pulled her into his side, head on hers. Braver than us. Mom. Taking this long. A beat. Bring her home sometime? Vet her like you did Adam. She laughed. Wet and real. Deal. August. She went. Packed light. A weekend bag. The old sundress from photos. Heart hammering like a teen. Chicago swallowed her at O'Hare. Skyscrapers clawing sky. L trains rattling like urban veins. Sarah waited curbside in a Prius. Silver hair cropped pixie. Laugh lines deeper but eyes unchanged. Hazel. Mischievous. She breathed, pulling Elena into a hug that smelled of coffee and possibility. You came. Finally. They drove to Wicker Park. Apartment above a bookstore. Walls lined with queer lit and Polaroids of marches past. Dinner was Thai takeout on the fire escape. City hum below. Stories spilling like wine. Sarah's life. Teacher. Partner lost to cancer. Now single and sassy. Elena's. The adoptions. The boys' braves. The buried years. You built an empire, Sarah said, hand on Elena's knee. Now claim yours. The kiss came natural, slow, exploratory, tasting of pad thai and thyme. Elena melted, walls tumbling. They made love that night, tentative then torrent, bodies remembering rhythms long forgot. Dawn found them tangled, Sarah's fingers tracing Elena's stretch marks like maps. Stay, can't. Boys, but the pull anchored. Back in Willow Creek, Elena glowed, literally, Javier dubbing her Radiant Rita. She told the boys piecemeal. Group dinner, pot roast and honesty. Met someone. Woman. Sarah. Cheers erupted, hugs, toasts with Kool-Aid. 'Bout time, Levi hooped. Tommy FaceTimed in. Knew it, pics or it didn't happen. Christian and Adam, curled on the couch, raised glasses. Proud. Mom. Like you made us. Fall harvested bounty. Leaves aflame. Christian and Adam closing on a starter plot. 10 acres near Ames. Goats en route. Elena shuttled to Chicago weekends. Sarah visiting Iowa incognito. First as the aunt, then out, holding hands at the diner where Buck grumbled but served pie anyway. Climax brewed Thanksgiving. The table groaned. Turkey from the co-op. Javier's mole. Tommy's vegan stuffing. Sarah arrived official. Pie in hand. Nerves masked by banter. The boys grilled gentle. Hurt her. We bury you in the corn. Micah teased. But eyes warm. Toasts flowed. Laughter loud. Until Harlan's ghost intruded. Derek called Adam mid-meal. Slurring. Farm's going under. Your fault. Queer luck. Click. Adam paled. Fork dropping. Christian's hand found his under table. Ignore. But Derek escalated texts. Then showing at the drive. Pickup swerving. Hollering slurs. Come claim your shit. Faggot. Or rot. Adam stormed out. Christian trailing. Elena followed. Sarah at her elbow. Stay inside, she barked to the rest. Driveway showdown. Derek swaying. Eyes wild. Dad's rolling over. You're doing. Wasn't me, Adam growled. Your screw up. Fist flew. Derek's. Grazing Adam's cheek. Christian lunged. Enough. But Elena stepped in. Voice steel. On my land? Or I call Harlan's ghost. Sheriff's his golf buddy. Derek sneered. Defending more freaks? Heard about your city dyke. Time froze. Elena's chin lifted. Yeah. And prouder than you. He lunged, drunk swing, but Sarah blocked. Krav Maga from Pride defense classes sending him sprawling. Sirens wailed, Javier's EMT pal tipping off cops. Derek hauled away, cuffs glinting. House sealed tight after. Doors locked. Cocoa steaming. Adam nursed ice. Christian's arm anchor. Family, he muttered. Fucked up but ours. Elena and Sarah on the porch. Adrenaline fading. That was hot, Christian quipped from door. Easing tension. Sarah laughed. Your mom's the hero. Elena pulled her close. We all are. December deepened bonds. Christmas. Sarah full family. Ornaments added. E and S. 25. Gifts heartfelt. Boys scrapbook for Elena. A trip voucher to the city. Christian and Adam announced. Baby steps. Fostering a teen down the line. But by Kitsch loomed. Tragedy in joy's shadow. New Year's. Elena drove Sarah to O'Hare. Snow swirling. Come permanent? Sarah asked. Hand on Elena's. Soon. Kiss goodbye. Lingering. January chill bit. Elena's checkup routine. She thought. Yielded hammer. Breast cancer. Stage 2. Aggressive. Treatable, doc said. But word cancer echoed. She told the boys staggered. Christian first. In the kitchen. Coffee brewing normalcy. Mom. His face crumpled as she explained chemo. Surgery. Fight. We got you, he vowed. Hugging fierce. Adam joined. Silent support. Full reveal Christmas in January. Tree still up. Lights twinkling ironic. Cancer, she said flat. But I'm kicking its ass. Shock. Then steel. Tommy organizing meal trains. Javier researching trials. Twins drilling her on symptoms. Report daily. Soldier. Christian and Adam converting the guest room to recovery suite. Sarah flew in weekly. Holding hair during nausea. Whispering. Warriors together. Spring fought back. Chemo cycles brutal. Elena bald and bony but unbowed. Boys rotating vigils. Christian's music therapy. Guitar sessions. Songs co-written with Adam. Lyrics of survival. You're our root, he sang. Voice cracking. Climax redux. May. Post-mastectomy. Infection scare landing her in ICU. Boys piled in waiting room, Javier pacing. Tommy sketching mandalas. Twins arm wrestling for distraction. Christian and Adam entwined. Praying silent. Sarah arrived midnight. Elena waking to her face. Scared me. Fight's not over. Weak smile. But I'm here. Recovery stretched summer. Scars pink. Energy ebbing then surging. Boys adapted. Pride flags on the porch doubled. Support group started for queer caregivers. Elena's secret? No secret now out to town. Whispers turning sympathetic. Buck dropping off soup. Heard you're tough. Beat it. August. Clear scans, remission. Party spontaneous, backyard bonfire. S'mores and stories. To Mom, Christian toasted. Arm around Adam. Bravest buried treasure. She raised glass. Sarah's hand in hers. To us. All out. All in. Fall gilded edges. Harvest golden. Christian and Adam broke ground on the co-op. Stormcloud Farm. Named for eyes that matched. Elena planned move. Halftime Chicago. Sarah's ring on finger come spring. One dusk. Porch swing creaking. Elena and Christian side by side. Proud? She asked. Always. He kissed her temple. You taught us brave. Stars wheeled. Secrets unearthed. Family eternal. October's frost etched windows like lace. The world outside the farmhouse crisp and clarifying. As if nature itself conspired to strip illusions bare. Stormcloud Farm took shape under Christian and Adam's sweat. Fence posts hammered. Goat pens sketched on graph paper. A sign commissioned from Tommy's art collective. Swirling clouds with intertwined initials. Bold and unapologetic. Our legacy, Adam said one evening, wiping mud from his brow as they surveyed the raw earth. Christian's head on his shoulder. The betrayal of last summer felt like ancient history. A scar faded to silver. Their love tempered stronger, like steel quenched in fire. Elena thrived in remission's grace. Her hair a soft white halo from chemo, worn like a crown. Sarah's visits lengthened, weeks now. Not days, her Prius a fixture in the drive. Unpacked suitcases hinting at permanence. They cooked together. Elena's meatloaf fused with Sarah's brisket recipe. A metaphor for lives merging. The boys adored her. Auntie S. Levi dubbed. after she trounced him at euchre, and Javier even flirted harmless, earning eye rolls and her dry, "Boy, I'm old enough to be your, well, auntie." But humanistic truths demand reckoning. November elections loomed, Iowa's air thick with rhetoric, anti-LGBT bills bubbling in Des Moines, whispers of traditional values at the co-op counter. Willow Creek polarized, rainbow stickers on some trucks, Confederate flags on others. Elena's cancer story softened edges. Prayers at church, casseroles from unlikely sources, but the undercurrent pulled. The conflict reignited subtly. Ryan Caldwell, paroled early from a DUI stretch Derek's doing, favors called, slunk back to town, working the grain elevator with eyes hungry for trouble. He cornered Adam at the feed store, pallet jack humming indifferent. "Heard you're playing house. Cute. But blood calls. Wit." Derek's hiring hands. Adam's jaw ticked. "Pass. Got my own." Ryan leaned in, breath sour. "That freak farm? Gonna flop. Like you did with me." Adam shoved the pallet, nearly clipping him. "Walk away. Word spread, gossip mill grinding. Christian heard at college. Gut twisting old wounds. Blocked for good?" he asked that night, bed creaking under tension. Adam sighed, pulling him close. "Swear. He's noise, but noise amplifies." Thanksgiving redux. Full table. Sarah's family via Zoom, bubbly aunts from Milwaukee. Toasts to survival. Post pie. A knock, Derek. Soberish. Hat in hand. "Truce. Cuz. Farm's hurting. Need help." Adam's eyes narrowed. "Why now?" "Family." Derek's gaze flicked to Christian. Venom veiled. "Blood over." "Whatever." Refusal polite but firm. Derek left muttering, but the seed sprouted. Anonymous flyers in town. Stormcloud queer takeover of Whitaker land? Lies twisted farm as agenda. Boys as indoctrinators. Harassment escalated. Slashed tires on Adam's truck. Graffiti on the co-op sign. Fags out. Threats scrawled on Elena's mailbox. "Go back to the city. Die." She burned them in the sink. But fear flickered. The boys united. Javier's cop buddy patrolling. Tommy's viral sketch campaign. Willow Pride. Twins' military precision on security cams. Christian and Adam doubled down. Fundraiser barn dance. Proceeds for legal fees. Locals turning out wary but curious. Climax crashed mid-December. Snowstorm whiteout. Power flickering. Derek and Ryan, liquored, stormed Stormcloud's gate. Torches improvised from bottles, hurling slurs and flames at the nascent barn. Burn the rainbow. Adam and Christian, snowmobiling back from town, spotted the glow heart-stopping orange against white. They roared in, Adam tackling Ryan into drifts, Christian wrestling a bottle from Derek. Fists flew, snow muffling grunts, until sirens pierced Javier's alert, deputies sliding in. Elena and Sarah arrived in the Ford, chains rattling, finding chaos. Adam bloodied, Christian restraining Derek, Ryan cuffed and cursing. "Mom," Christian started, but she silenced him with a look, turning to deputies. "Press charges. All of it." Station house reeked of coffee and defeat. Statements given. Derek and Ryan booked, arson attempt, hate crime enhancers. Harlan's legacy, poisoned. Aftermath. Media swirl. Des Moines Register headline: Iowa family fights back. Queer farmers torch prejudice. Support flooded, donations for Stormcloud. Pride flags on every porch, even bucks. But the toll. Adam's cracked rib, Christian's sprained wrist, Elena's nights haunted by what-ifs. Healing winter deep. Christmas quiet. Tree trimmed with resilience ornaments, cancer ribbon, wedding band replica, goat figurines. Sarah proposed under mistletoe. Ring simple gold. Build with me. Yes. Teary. Boys whooping. New Year brought pivot. Elena sold the farmhouse. Bittersweet. Proceeds seeding Stormcloud expansion. Move to Chicago halftime. Farmhouse to Christian and Adam as wedding gift. Your roots, she said, keys in hand. Grow 'em strong. Packing unearthed ghosts. Richard's watch. Boys' baby shoes. Sarah's first letter framed now. Farewell party epic. Bonfire. Band. Christian strums. Toasts tear-streaked. To buried secrets. Javier raised glass. Dug up and dancing. Spring equinox. Elena and Sarah wed. Small. Chicago courthouse. Boys zooming cheers. Vows. You freed me, Elena said, Sarah's hand in hers. We free each other. Summer bloomed Stormcloud. Goats bleeding. First crop organic corn. Ironic. Foster kid placed, 17. Scared. Out like the boys once were. Christian mentored. Adam fathered gentle. Elena visited often. Prius bumping gravel. Sarah beside. One July dusk. Porch swing, new owners but borrowed, they sat. Christian's head on her shoulder like old times. Happy? He asked. Buried the pain, she murmured. Planted love instead. Adam joined. Arm around Christian. Family circle complete. Stars pricked sky. Fireflies winking approval. In Willow Creek. Secrets once graves, now gardens, brave blooms. Humanistic harvest. The greatest, not buried, but shared. A mother's love. Fierce as shotgun blasts. Tender as dawn. Years later. At Stormcloud's grand opening. Ribbon cut by a graying Elena. Sarah's hand in hers. The boys gathered. Now men. Tommy published illustrator. Javier chief paramedic. Twin sergeants with husbands. Christian and Adam dads to that foster kid. Now family. Toast. To she who adopted us brave and set herself free. Laughter echoed fields. Eternal.